I'm going to show you how I built an AI content marketing agent that creates complete multi-platform content in under 10 minutes. Content that used to take my team 20 plus hours per week. This single agent can generate research-backed blog posts, LinkedIn thought leadership posts, Facebook engagement content, and even fully edited short form videos for YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok, all from a single topic input. Let me show you how it works. I'm going to open up the chat and ask it to find me some content ideas. It's going to send my query to the research agent, which is actually going to search the web, do some research on my topic, and come back to me with content angles. Alright, top content angles for dentists and AI. Okay, AI versus the human touch, how smart dentists use both. The AI-powered patient experience revolution, AI practice management, AI diagnostics. So you see there's quite a few interesting angles. I like number 5, so let's ask it to create content on number 5. Let's do 5 on all platforms. So once I hit enter, it's going to start creating a LinkedIn post. It's going to generate an image for that LinkedIn post. And as it creates every piece of content and multimedia, it's going to save it in a data table. Right, there it is. It saved it in the data table. We can go here, click refresh. And we'll see that we now have our content. We have the platform at LinkedIn, and we also have an image generated for LinkedIn ready to go. All right, super. Now, if we go back to the workflow, we'll see that it's already written the Facebook post. It's generated an image for the Facebook post. And once this is done, it's going to insert that into the data table as well. There it is. Now it's going to generate a script for a short form video. And then it's going to use HeyGen to actually generate that video with an AI avatar. Then it's going to use Submagic to edit that generated video into something very professional. And finally save that final URL back to the data table. Okay, now it's calling the edit video workflow. Now finally, it's calling the write blog post workflow, which will generate a highly detailed and highly researched blog post ready for us to publish. All right, so after 8 minutes and 21 seconds, mission complete, multi-platform content strategy executed. So we created a LinkedIn post, we've created a Facebook post, we've created an Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok reel, and we've also created a blog post. And if we go into the data table and hit refresh, we'll see that we have 4 pieces of content for LinkedIn, for Facebook, for Instagram, and our blog post as well. Let me show you what the Instagram reel looks like.
What if AI could change everything in dentistry? Early adopters are transforming smiles faster and smarter.
For dentists, precision diagnostics catch problems before they start.
And let me show you the blog post. All right, so here it is, the blog post formatted with HTML all ready to go. You can literally just copy all of this and paste it into WordPress. And we can also check the word count, all right, 1600 words. Incredible. So in 8 minutes, we got all of this content ready for us to publish. And you can see why this can be a complete game changer for your content marketing strategy. Alright, so if you're new here, we're going to be using a platform called n8n to build out this workflow. n8n is a very powerful platform that lets you build out AI agents and automations using no code. So through a simple drag and drop interface, you can string together AI models, other web applications, and really create very powerful workflows that can be used in production as well. You can sign up for a free trial account at n8n.io and start playing around with it. All right, so now let's dive into how this AI agent is set up. Let me clear the execution, and you'll see that there's a single AI agent node up here connected to a cat trigger node. And this AI agent has access to a whole bunch of different tools. We have a LinkedIn tool, a Facebook tool, a research tool, a data table tool, an image generator tool, a shorts script writer tool, a video generation tool, a video editing tool, and a blogging tool. So the backbone of this entire AI agent is actually these 2 data table nodes. because everything the AI agent creates for us has to be saved somewhere for us to then review and publish as we see fit. If you wanted to, you could expand this one step further by implementing auto publishing as well, and if you're confident in the AI, but that's a subject for another tutorial. So if we go back into n8n, and up top next to workflows, you'll see there is a data tables column. I'm going to click that, and then you can go ahead and click create data table. So here's mine. I'll show you how I've organized it. I've given it a few columns. One column is topic, the other is main content, platform, media URL, caption, published URL, which is pending for now, but this is for your own record, because once you publish it, you can update this here. And later on, if you want the AI agent to retrieve something from the table, it can filter using this. And we also have the blog post URL. That's only for blog posts, and these two are default columns. So once you have your data table set up, we can come back into n8n, drop a chat trigger node onto your canvas, and connect that chat trigger to an AI agent. And let me show you what the instructions for this agent are. So we have a fairly detailed system message. We need to tell it what the current time and the date is. And this is essential because when it generates instructions for the other agents, it can sometimes screw up the date, because the AI models are sometimes trained on older data. So AI models don't know what the current date is, but you can tell the AI model the current date by using this variable in n8n. We have basic instructions where we wanted to create and execute a comprehensive multi-platform content strategy. We're telling it what tools it has. So it has the research agent, the LinkedIn agent, etc., etc. And we're also giving it the workflow. So it needs to do research first, analyze and select a content piece based on our input, and then execute each phase one by one. So it executes a LinkedIn strategy, it executes Facebook, it executes Instagram. And I'm writing Instagram here, but obviously you can use that same piece of content for Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. And finally, the blog post creation. We also have some quality standards, giving it some insights into the target audience, and finally some notes. To this AI agent, we need to connect a brain, which is this chat model over here. And if we follow it down, I'm using OpenRouter. Now, I stuck to OpenRouter for this workflow because I wanted to experiment a little bit between using different chat models. I was getting the best results with Claude Sonnet 4.5. I would encourage you to play around with this and use other models. But I found that when there's a lot of different tools available, Sonnet 4.5 seems to do a very good job of being able to handle all those different inputs and outputs at once. So there is our brain. Now, because this is a multi-step workflow, we need the AI agent to remember what it did in the last step so it doesn't end up repeating anything. And for that reason, we need to give it memory. So we can add a simple memory node over here, which you can find by typing in here, simple, and you get simple memory. Double click. The session ID is the connected chat trigger node, and the context window length is 15. Because this is multiple steps, we need to give it a bigger context window length, which means the agent is going to remember the last 15 steps that it did. And this is just to make sure that it doesn't end up repeating itself and using up our AI credits unnecessarily. So that is the chat model and the memory. And now let's go through the individual tools. So we'll start with the data table tool, and then we can work down each platform. So the first and the most important tool is the insert row in data table tool, which you can get by clicking the plus icon, typing data table, and selecting data table tool. And if we open this up, we'll see that the tool description is set automatically, the resource is row, and the operation here is insert. Because we're doing a new row and we're not updating an existing row, we're going to use insert and not anything else. So click insert. Choose the correct data table from the list in case you have more than one. For mapping, use map each column manually, and just go ahead and click the little AI star button over here to make sure that the AI will fill out each one of these. So it fills out the topic, the main content. These are just the columns that we had set earlier, and the AI will figure out what to put in each column. So for all of the columns, just remember to select define automatically by the model. Now, I've also given it a get rows in data table tool, which is the same tool, except the operation is now get instead of insert. And the only reason I've added this is if you want the agent to go back to something that it's done already and retrieve a piece of content. Or let's say the execution failed after 2 or 3 platforms and you have another platform left. You can use the get rows tool, and you can instruct the agent to use the get rows tool to figure out which posts have not been published and which topic it is, and just to create content for that remaining platform. So that's what the get rows in data table tool does. I mean, if you open this up again, we'll see that it must match any condition, and return also defined automatically by the model. So it's just better to leave the entire search up to the AI model, and then use the chat interface to let the AI model figure out what rows it has to retrieve from the table. So that's the data table where all of our information is going to live. And then we can look into each individual agent. So this tool is a pretty incredible feature that n8n has added recently. And instead of just being a regular tool where it's interacting with another web application, like let's say Tavily or Google Sheet or Google Docs or whatever, with this tool, which is an AI agent tool, you can actually connect a sub AI agent to your main AI agent. So this is kind of like having a manager, and then under that manager you have other specialized roles. So instead of the manager having to do everything by themselves, they can now farm out certain tasks to other specialized agents, and then you can give these agents their own specialized tools in order to execute that task. So this helps by not overloading the manager and splitting the responsibilities and splitting the tasks in a way that ultimately saves you AI tokens and also gives you better results, because the sub agents will have much more specialized and specific instructions. So the first sub agent, you can drop this on the canvas by clicking the plus icon on tools and searching for AI agent and selecting AI agent tool. And the setup is almost exactly the same for this AI agent. Instead of being independent, this and receiving input from say a chat or Slack, the input actually comes from this agent here. So if you open this up, you'll see that we have a description. The prompt is defined automatically by the model, which means this agent will define the prompt it sends to this agent. And we're also giving it a system message. Let me expand this and show you. So basic instructions for writing LinkedIn content. You can make this as much more in-depth as you want. Let's say you already have brand guidelines for LinkedIn, or you have successful post formulas. You can drop those in over here. Then to the LinkedIn agent, we have connected another chat model. This time I'm using GPT 4.1 mini, which is significantly cheaper than Anthropic Sonnet 4.5. So you can see the value and the power of using sub agents instead of using that one master agent to do everything. Because if this guy was doing everything using Sonnet 4.5, I would burn through my credits a lot faster than I am right now. So that's the LinkedIn tool. Next up, we have a Facebook writer tool. So a very similar setup: description, a system message, which you can modify as you need, and also connected to GPT 4.1 mini. Next up, we have a research agent tool, which is another AI agent. This time, the same thing as before. Description, we have a system message where we're instructing it to use. Next up, we have a research agent tool, which is set up quite similarly to the LinkedIn and Facebook writer, but this is where things get a lot more interesting. So this agent actually has access to tools of its own. So it can read RSS feeds, and it can also use a service called Tavily. Now, Tavily is a very powerful platform that lets you connect your AI agents to the internet, and it can actually search the web in real time and get back detailed information with citations, with time filters, with everything for your agent to then use. So this is like having a fully functional research assistant built in to your workflow. Tavily's free plan is very generous. It gives you 1,000 credits. You'll see that I'm on the free plan, and even after a lot of testing and actually using this AI agent to create content, I've only used up 234 out of the 1,000 free credits that they're giving me. And you can grab the API key from here and set up your credentials in n8n. So this research agent has access to the Tavily tool, and if I double click this, we'll see that this is actually a community node. So in order to run this, you'll need to be on the n8n community edition, meaning you have to self-host it. If you're using n8n cloud, then instead of the Tavily tool, you'll actually need to use the HTTP request tool, which you can find here. and actually build out the request by going to the documentation, going to the API reference, and doing a Tavily search using this endpoint and this data structure. And by the way, if you want to grab a ready-to-go template that you can just copy and paste into your n8n of this workflow and all of the requisite sub-workflows, do check out the school community where we help business owners and professionals get working AI automations implemented into their businesses. We have detailed implementation lessons for all of the workflows, and we also do live monthly builds where the entire community gets together and we build an agent together live on call. So if you're interested, the link to that is in the description. So here is the Tavily tool. We're doing a search. The query is defined automatically by the model, meaning the orchestrator agent will decide what to actually search for, and it will then use those results to give instructions to all of the other tools. So that's 3 tools down: LinkedIn, Facebook, and research. Now let's check out this tool first before diving into the other ones. So we had a shorts script agent tool where there's a simple system message. You are an Instagram content specialist. We need reel scripts that are under 25 seconds that have a strong hook and content gaps and reward cycles throughout. Obviously, feel free to change this around as much as you need according to your specific business processes. Give it a brain. These are the basic tools all done. Now there's also an image generator agent. And if I open this up, we'll see that this tool is used to generate an image, and the system message is that you are an expert at crafting image generation prompts for a variety of mediums such as Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. Your output should be just the URL and the target platform. Now, the beauty of this agent is that since we're publishing to multiple platforms, we actually need to generate images that actually resonate with each platform. So we don't want to create an image for LinkedIn and publish that on Facebook, or we don't want to create an image for Facebook and use that in our blog post. We actually want individual images tailored for each platform. And that is what this agent is designed to do, where it'll actually think about the target platform and create an image generation prompt that should hopefully get us an image tailored to that particular platform. And because this may take a couple of iterations, we're giving this agent its own memory. It's connected to a brain with GPT 4.1 again. The image generator tool actually calls another workflow in n8n, and that workflow is the generate image workflow. So let me go ahead and open that up and I'll show you. So we have chosen the workflow, the image generator workflow, and that workflow gets one prompt, which is the image prompt. So the image generator tool will create the prompt and send that prompt to the generate image workflow. And let me open this up and show you how this is set up. So this is a new workflow in n8n where instead of using a typical trigger, the trigger we're using is when executed by another workflow. So if we double click this, we'll see that it gets one input, which is the image prompt input that we saw over here, image prompt. And it's a string because that's all we need. The image prompt then goes into OpenRouter to this URL with a post method. n8n has OpenRouter credentials predefined. So just choose predefined credential type, choose OpenRouter, go ahead and set it up. And once you hit save, it should show the green connection tested successfully message. We do need to send a body. So the AI model that we're using through OpenRouter is Gemini Flash Image Preview. And this is the body that we need to send. So essentially all we're sending is the image prompt over here. And we're just specifying the model that we are going to use. Gemini 2.5 Flash is Google's new Nano Banana model, which I found really blows every other image generation model out of the water. It's also fairly economical to use, so that's what I'm using. And this HTTP request actually returns base64 code instead of an actual image URL. So let me show you a previous execution so we can actually see the data that's coming in. Let's copy this to the editor. So we'll see that we made the request through OpenRouter, and what we got back under image URL is actually this string over here, which is a base64 string. Now from this base64 string, we actually need to eliminate the first few characters because that's not actually part of the image. This is just a reference as to what this file is. So that is what this code node does, which strips the first part of this string and gives us just this much. Then n8n has a built-in node, which is a convert to file node, which moves a base64 string, which we got from our code node, and converts it into a file. So we give it a file name, and we also need to tell it the MIME type, which was image/png, because it was a PNG file. And you'll see that n8n has converted this jumble of text into an actual image file. That file is then uploaded to Google Drive. We need to share that file in order to be able to access it from anywhere, and especially from our workflow. And finally, an edit fields node makes sure that the only output that this entire workflow sends is the Google Drive URL, which you can find from the upload file node. And if you scroll down, you need to get the web content link and drag it in here. So that's the image generation workflow. And remember, the agent is going to call this once for LinkedIn, once for Facebook, and once for the blog post as well. So now that we have all of this ready, and we also have our script ready, we need to go ahead and turn that script into a short form video and then edit that short form video. And we're using sub workflows because these require multiple steps, and trying to add all of those steps to this AI agent would overwhelm it. So using a sub workflow kind of helps us make this a lot more modular, and also helps us diagnose any errors if and when we run into them. So let me open this up. This workflow has just one input, which is the script. And if I open this workflow, I'll show you how this is set up. So you'll see it's a fairly simple workflow. We have the when executed by another workflow trigger, the name is script, type is string. This uses a service called HeyGen. Now, if you've not heard, so this workflow uses a service called HeyGen, which is a very powerful app to generate AI videos using avatars and talking heads. I've done a very detailed tutorial on how to use HeyGen in your n8n workflow, and I'll leave a link to that in the description below. So we're sending this HTTP request to HeyGen. We'll need to set up the credentials manually, so choose generic credential type, choose header off, and the name will be x-api-key. The value is the API key that you'll get from HeyGen once you're in, and we do need to send a body. Now let me break down what we're actually sending. So we have some video inputs where we have a character and we have an avatar ID. Now to get avatar IDs, you can go into HeyGen, go to avatars, go to public avatars, and then you'll see that you have all of these different AI avatars in HeyGen that you can choose. Now let's say that you like this guy, so I'm going to click here. Now to get the avatar ID, you're actually going to need to go up to the URL, scroll a little bit, and grab the default look ID, and just grab the string after the equal sign and before the ampersand on the next one. So copy this, come back into n8n and paste that in here. And we'll also need to give it a voice ID as well, which you can go back into HeyGen, click on voices, choose any voice that you like. So let's say I want this guy, and then just click get voice ID, and that'll copy the voice ID to your clipboard where you can paste it in over here. The text is the script that we got from the trigger, and just you can set the dimensions and the other variables as you need. So once the video generation request has started, we're going to hit a wait node and wait for 10 seconds before we ping HeyGen again and ask it about the status. Now the wait node is important because APIs have something called rate limiting, where it is a built-in mechanism to prevent people from making too many requests to the server. So if you end up making too many requests, the API might end up blocking you from accessing it. So use the wait node. And then once 10 seconds have elapsed, we're going to check the status by using this HeyGen API URL, same credentials as before. And under query parameters, remember to enable send query parameters, we're going to pass in the video ID. And if you set up this workflow identically, this is what that variable is going to look like. So depending on what the status is, we are going to modify the workflow. So that goes into a switch node. Now, if the status is failed, that means the video output failed. If the status is completed, that means the video has successfully generated. And if it's anything else, we're going to add a fallback output, which is an extra output, which means the video is still in process. So if I click back out, we'll see that the fallback output actually goes back into the wait node, which means if it's not failed and it's not completed, go back, wait another 10 seconds and check the status again. If it's failed, we have an edit fields node where we're just saying the video execution failed. So that'll tell the master agent that the execution failed for whatever reason. And if it's completed, we're actually going to send it the URL of the completed video. And the URL of the completed video goes into this other workflow, which is the video to submagic workflow. So we're passing in the URL that we got from the HeyGen tool. So if I open this up, so you'll see that this sub workflow is set up very similarly to the other one, where we're starting the edit, except this time instead of HeyGen, we're using a tool called Submagic. And Submagic is a really powerful service that can actually grab a raw video, add automatic captions to it, add automatic b-roll, zooms, transitions, and 2 to 3 minutes you'll have a professionally edited video ready for you to upload to your social channels. And by the way, if you're interested in signing up for Submagic, there's a link in the description, and there's also a coupon code for 10% off for life. So if you're interested, do check it out. So here we are in Submagic. This is the URL. Here is the body that we're sending. We're passing in the video URL. Submagic has a lot of different templates built in, so you can change the template name by going into the Submagic documentation and finding the different templates. Magic zooms is true, magic b-rolls is true, and you can also adjust how many b-rolls to use in the entire video. And the rest of the mechanics is fairly similar. There's a wait node, we check the status, and then we go into a switch node where either the execution has failed, the execution is completed, or if it's not either of those two, it just goes back into the wait node, waits a certain amount of time, and then checks again. Now, one extra step that we have to do, and this is more because of a limitation of Submagic than anything else, is that we need to upload the Submagic video to another service. And the service I'm using is called Cloudinary. Cloudinary is an online file sharing and file storage platform. Now, the reason we're using Cloudinary and not Google Drive is because you can directly upload from a URL into your Cloudinary account, whereas with Google Drive, you usually need to download the video and then upload it again. But because the video file can get a little big, it might end up crashing your n8n instance. So using Cloudinary, and by the way, Cloudinary has a node built into n8n, so it's very easy to set up. You just need to connect your account in Cloudinary, choose upload from URL, and then just drop in the URL that you got from check status and make sure the resource type is the correct kind of file. And this will upload the file into your Cloudinary account and give you back a URL that we can then send back to the main agent using the edit fields node. So that is video generation and video editing. And finally, we have the write blog post subagent. So if I open this up, we have a description called this tool to write a blog post. The workflow is write blog post, and we also give it a topic as well. Let's open this up and we'll see that this is actually a fairly complex agent. We're getting the input from here. We have a master agent with multiple tools. Now, I've already done a very detailed tutorial on how to set up a blog writing agent like this, and I'll leave a link to that in the description so you can check it out there. So in this, I'll just give you a high-level overview of what's going on. Essentially, we have our agent with a model, a memory, and we have 3 tools. So one tool is the structure generator tool. So once this agent gets its topic from the original workflow, it first uses Tavily to search the web with that content, and depending on the research that it sends back, it actually generates an entire structure for that blog post. And then based on that structure, there is a dedicated agent for doing research, which will again use Tavily, but instead of the entire topic, it's going to dive deeper into each subheading. So the research agent will conduct research for each section of the blog post and pass the results on to the writing agent. And the writing agent will actually write out that entire section. And as each section is written out, it gets saved into a Google Doc using the Update Google Doc tool. So let's say the entire blog post was 3 sections. This agent would call the structure generator once, the research agent 3 times, once for each section. And as each section was researched, it would call the writing agent for a total of 5 times, because it needs to call it once for the introduction, once for each section. So 3 sections, that's 4, 1 plus 3, and finally one more time for the conclusion. And as each section is written out, it just keeps adding that section to a Google Doc that it created as part of that first step. So the reason we're actually updating the Google Doc with each section is if the blog post gets too long, the agent context sometimes is not able to handle all of that information, and it would sometimes end up giving you an incomplete blog post. So using this method, make sure that you actually get the entire blog post as a result. And finally, the Google Doc URL is sent via the edit fields node to the master orchestrator workflow. So there it is, an overview of how this agent is set up. This agent actually took me almost 20 hours to develop, test, and finally get it to a level that I'm happy with. So I'm really glad that I'm able to share it with you today. And all in all, it's actually very economical to run, especially for the amount of output that you're getting. So if you're a content marketing agency, you can use this workflow to condense your content production time from hours to minutes. If you're a business, you can use this workflow to essentially replace whoever you're paying to do your content marketing and instead bring it all in-house. And if you're a solopreneur or a creator and you're just really overwhelmed with all the different tasks that you have to do every single day, this agent can help remove one thing off of your plate and give you a lot more control back over your day. If you enjoyed this tutorial, I'd really appreciate it if you could give this video a like. And do remember to subscribe to the channel for more AI and automation content, and for even more in-depth tutorials, hand-holding, and help with live implementations of workflows into your business or your professional processes. Do consider joining the school community.